Edward is a billionaire who is terminally ill. He shaves his head and prepares to open a brain tumor. He is very unhappy because no one comes to see him. Only a subordinate is nearby. The subordinate kept hinting, what will happen to the company if Edward dies? With a net worth of over 100 million, no one accompanied him during the operation. Do you think this life is successful? Fortunately, the brain surgery was successful. After the operation, the doctor said to Edward, "This is all we can do. You have to rely on yourself from now on." At this stage, treatment is a long battle. Money is useless, but companionship is useful. But Edward is alone. Can he hold on? By chance, the hospital arranged a patient for Edward, who was a black man. Carter is a low-level worker who has never seen the world, but has read many books. Edward was very unhappy with Carter. He wanted a single room and said that he didn't want to see a half-dead zombie every day. But soon, Edward also became like this, either vomiting or having diarrhea that wouldn't stop. That night Carter gritted his teeth in pain, and that night Edward was in excruciating pain. The two shared the same illness and chatted. Edward found that his roommate had a very good personality, quiet, and never complained like him. The two played cards and took walks together, and gradually became friends. This is the movie that has touched millions of people, The Bucket List, which tells the story of a rich man and a poor man who completed their bucket lists together before dying. It is very healing and must be seen. Until that day, both of them received the bad news from the doctor at the same time. Edward only had half a year to live, and Carter only had 1 year to live. Both of them felt that the sky was falling. They looked at each other and it turned out that no matter whether they were rich or poor, their skin color and their appearance, personality, facing life and death, they are the same people. The next day, Edward suddenly picked up a piece of paper on the ground. It was thrown away by Carter when he was sad. On the paper was Carter's bucket list. It said, help a stranger sincerely, laugh until tears come, and drive a sports car. Carter found out and was a little angry. Unexpectedly, Edward poured cold water on it. These were too bad. As he said this, he also wrote some of his last wishes, skydiving and kissing the most beautiful girl in the world. A little slutty, but okay. Edward said, let's go and complete this list. He has money and can solve everything. Carter was a little scared, but Edward said, otherwise you can only go home and wait for death. Although it's good to have family, they can't do anything, and everyone will be very painful during this period. Carter thought about it and it was okay. But Carter's wife strongly opposed this. How can a dying person not stay with his family? Carter had made up his mind. He wanted to complete his last wish, so he followed Edward. Then they prepared to complete the first last wish skydiving.